are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast, episode 129 of the College Loop Podcast. I'm here joined today with Mr. Harrison Tarr. But first, let me introduce myself. I am Larck at @you on Twitter/X. Tarr, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm great. We're going to talk here in a minute about Auburn hoops. Super excited that is back, and we have a lot to talk about, a lot to break down there. And I know we're going to jump into Auburn football first, but first and foremost, we're going to get to this at the end of the show, but I want to congratulate all of the Auburn signees today. I know that a lot of you guys that are listening may not make it all the way to the end, so that's okay, but we are going to recognize at the end of the show all of the signees that committed to Auburn and inked their NLIs. I almost said on NIL because we're living in that world now, but their NLIs to attend the Plains this fall. I want to tell you guys how excited we are for you on behalf of the College Loop, how happy we are to have you as part of the Auburn family, and wishing you guys the absolute best success both in and out of the classroom. So with that being said, I'm getting good to get into football, but I'm so excited. National Signing Day is always so exciting for me. Football is cool, and it's an exciting day for those young men, but it's so cool on the National Signing Day for like every other sport, seeing all of these kids get to live out their dreams. It's pretty damn neat.
Especially with the staunch difference you can see from the past 10 years of Bruce Pearl to this basketball team, as opposed to football is always going to pick up some big signees unless the potato's coaching.
Right.
But to watch basketball consistently just impress and just and women's hoops as well, just continuously out recruit some of these big time programs, and we'll get to Todd Pettiford and Ja'Kai Howard in a bit. But to start off, I mean, we got to talk a little bit about this game on Saturday.
Hey, let's not forget every other team recruited super well this year, but we'll get there in a minute. This list is actually, guys, this is going to be a 3-minute segment of us just naming people, which is great. So we'll get there.
Everything school.
Damn right, man. Damn right.
Let's see. So just to get started off with football, your Auburn Tigers will be traveling to Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas, to take on the 3-6, 1-5 in the SEC Arkansas Razorbacks. Auburn's walking again with a 5-4, 2-4 conference record, and just one win away from bowl eligibility. But you cannot overlook this Arkansas team. That record does not speak very highly, does not tell you the whole story about this Arkansas team this year. They've been banged up. They've been injured. They had to fire their offensive coordinator. Their defense ranks in the top 50. So nothing Auburn should be like overlooking. Don't even you're going to hear me say it the next week too about don't even look over New Mexico State.
Right.
That's just you got to get week by week, one win away from bowl eligibility. Tara, I'll let you talk about this game a little bit before we get into our who needs to step up segment.
Yeah. Well, this game really, I think it comes down to who runs the football better. I think it does, and we know that Arkansas's averaging just north of 129 yards a game, giving up to opponents up to the ground, and certainly much weaker on the back end than they are on the front seven. I think that obviously Auburn needs to get Peyton Thorne comfortable. This has been the theme of the year, and it starts up front, starts in the trenches for Auburn offensively, making sure they get the job done. I'm not going to give away it's kind of a hint toward it, but I'm not going to give away who needs to step up the most this week. But there's a couple of guys in that backfield that really could help out their quarterback and Peyton Thorne and get comfortable and be able to go into a hostile road environment against a team that's backed against the wall. Arkansas loses again. You're not going bowling. Every team that winds up losing a 7th game this year is another opportunity for JMU to get in. And Arkansas certainly does not want to be the reason that happens. On the defensive side of the ball, I think that the edge goes to Auburn here still. All signs here truthfully do point to Auburn in the current state. But like you mentioned before, Dylan, this record is not telling for this Arkansas team. They are a hell of a lot better than 3-6. And I think that just about anyone that's beyond the surface level of a ball watcher would agree with you in that this team could sneaky upset anybody at any given moment in time. Don't count them out for their game at the end of the season against Missouri. I mean, that could get wacky and weird.
Yeah, the Battle Line rivalry has always been one of my favorite ones to watch on the Friday before the Iron Bowl and after the Thursday of the Egg Bowl. Very sneaky good SEC rivalry that I don't think gets enough attention. But I mean, I have to give the edge to Missouri in that game. I did. Oh yeah, but going to this game against for Auburn after watching what transpired in that wide receiver core, and I'll go ahead and start off with who needs to step up. It's the wide receiver core. It's just the entire unit as a whole. I mean, 7 drops were counted by this coaching staff. You are not going to win very many games with 7 drops. And I'll shave off one because I'm assuming they're counting the rocket pass to Damari Alston's like face mask. So I'll say 6, but even then, you're not going to win very many games with 6 drops either. If you're going to beat Arkansas, you're going to have to run the ball well. You're going to have to run a very balanced attack. This team is top 40, like 3 and top 46 in both the pass and rush defense. So you can't just lean heavy on one side because Arkansas defense is built to stop both sides. That's what T. Will is very good at. And that's why I'm really hoping one day he makes his glorious return back to the Plains because of the level of defense that he brings to any team that he goes to. And I mean, Shane Hooks is going to have to see the ball get thrown to him. Rivaldo Fairweather can't have those stupid drops that he had. I think he had 2 after his 53-yard touchdown. Jay Fair's got to be involved. And Amari Kelly, bro, if you ever get it open look like that again and you drop another pass like that, I'm going to start the petition to revoke your scholarship. And I am not kidding. I will do that. If you ever drop a pass like that ever again.
I'm not playing.
I ain't playing. And if y'all still want to play after the Iron Bowl, y'all also are going to have to step up and catch the ball. I know Auburn's like 1 game away from bowl eligibility, but my point still stands. If you want a good bowl game, or if you don't want to play in Birmingham again, which I'm all for it, because that's only a 2 hour for me. Catch the football.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, kind of an overall breakdown, we'll have more of our excuse me, I'm just hit my ring against my desk on accident.
I do that all the time.
It's the worst. Before we get into our breakdown, we will have our full pregame show coming up this Friday, and that'll be with the sports editor of the Arkansas Traveler student run paper over at the University of Arkansas. Super excited to get to connect with him actually right after the show. So super excited. Y'all make sure you tune into that. Let's give our who needs to step up both sides of the ball real quick, Dylan. I'll go ahead and lead in. Mine's Jarquez Hunter. I've said it the past 2 weeks. You guys should thank me. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying. Both the last 2 weeks, I've asked for a legacy game twice, by the way, from Jarquez Hunter. And this dude's played some football over the past couple weeks. So out of my compassion for not only my own mental health, but for that of Auburn fans abroad, I'm going to go and say Jarquez Hunter again. But I really mean it. Jarquez really being able to impose his will on defenses like he has been the past couple of weeks. If he could do that on this Arkansas defense, which not as easy, it's certainly a more difficult task. I understand that, and that falls in the offensive line, whatever. But if Jarquez Hunter can do some really special things and open up the field, it really opens up opportunities for Peyton Thorne. We've seen it the past 2 weeks. I know that's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. Receivers got to catch the football. But if you can run the football effectively, it starts with Jarquez Hunter. We can confidently say that again, folks. It starts with Jarquez Hunter. And then the rest of your offense, at that point, it's in the hands of your quarterback and your receiving core to not drop the football.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of already said mine. The options for the offense, and I'll kind of lead into my defense after I get done with this. You cannot not take advantage of an improving Peyton Thorne. If Peyton Thorne is starting to play at a higher level than we are used to, you also have to match that. And that's going to start off with, if he's throwing you the football, for the love of God, catch it. We have not seen this in 8 games. For the love of God, catch the football. But I'll kind of take that into my defensive side of the ball. This Arkansas offensive line has given up 36 sacks through 9 games. And if you don't know football that much, I'm going to go and tell you that's not good. It's not even good to have 30 throughout 12 games. I would say it's not even good to have 20 through 12 games. So 36 through 9 games. That is 4, for you math geniuses, that is 4 sacks per game. And looking at the transfer portal this past offseason, who Auburn brought in, looking at some of the pass rushers, Jalen McLeod has been a name that's been, you hear him a good chunk throughout the game, but he's never been, I don't think he's got ever more than 1 sack a game. In like, not per game, but like in a game. I know against Vanderbilt got half a sack. I was tempted to say the whole unit, but I'm just going to say one name. Jalen McLeod was recruited because of his ability to get to the quarterback in those big game situations. Looking at App State, he had the A&M game last year where he just went off and led to the upset of App State over Texas A&M. and the absolute throttling that the App State fans did across Boone, North Carolina, was very much helped by Jalen McLeod's ability to get to the quarterback. And going into this game against Arkansas, I'm going to look for him to finally have that game that we've been expecting to see from him throughout the entire season. And Arkansas team is going to be, again, a very balanced attack. If you got to get KJ Jefferson on the ground, you got to force him to throw the ball. And the only way to do that is to get pressure on him, play in, play out, first down, second down, third down, fourth down, get pressure on the quarterback. And I'm going to start that off with Auburn's best speed rusher and Jalen McLeod.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to run with it. I'm actually going to pivot over to Eugene Asante, and I'm going to. It's for a similar reason here, Dylan. It's not necessarily the sack ability, if you will, but it's certainly important, not just for this offense. This Auburn front seven to get pressure on KJ Jefferson, but that linebacker group's going to have to play a spy this game. He's one of those guys that you've got to contain. Auburn's not been particularly outstanding at defending the quarterback run. Now, granted, in today's game of college football, it's more tough to defend the QB run than ever because of schematics, just because that's where we're at. But at the same time, you've got to be able to contain him and limit his chunk plays, limit him converting those third and mediums on his own and just pulling down the ball and going and running with it. Eugene Asante is the leader in that front, in my opinion, in terms of making sure that he can set the precedent that KJ Jefferson may want to think twice and stay in the pocket before he tries to roll out and make something happen on his feet. Now, KJ, big dude, big frame, not an easy guy to bring down. Arm tackles won't do it, but Eugene Asante has been pretty good in that department, putting a hat on a hat, not necessarily targeting. It's not what I'm going for here, but you know what I mean. Being physical and using his body as opposed to arm tackling. It's going to be so important that he continues to do so this game. Also, Alex McPherson kick it out of the back of the damn end zone. That's just a bonus point.
Yeah, I cannot agree with the point more.
I never thought a single kickoff return ever for an opposing team.
It's not even that. Even if the ball is like getting like kicked toward like the 5-yard line, it's like a shorter return. I'm okay with that. Don't kick the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
Stop kicking the ball out of bounds. What was it? Was it twice against Vanderbilt?
Yes.
That's 2 times too many in any kind of football game from an Auburn kicker.
Right.
Ever.
But he's been a hell of a place kicker. So.
Yeah, he has been automatic for ever since the word. It's just maybe let Chapman do the kickoffs.
Kickoffs? Yeah, I don't know if that's the answer, but
Marshall Myers.
there's got to be some answer. Kick it out of the back of the end zone. That being said, those are our who needs to step up for Auburn at Arkansas, 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff in Fayetteville, Hog Country. Some of the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. Good people. Just
a reminder, Arkansas is a 2.5-point favorite.
That's right, 2.5-point favorite. And we'll give our picks on the Friday pick'em show. On the Friday kickoff show. I'm going to try preview this again one more time. The Friday preview show. Holy hell, I only host this podcast. It's not that difficult. But anyways, for those of you guys making the trip up to Arkansas, stay safe, eat the brisket. It's so damn good. I cannot describe the brisket I had last time I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Usually the fans are pretty nice. Basketball, different story. We'll touch base on that when we come down the stretch. Before we get into Auburn basketball in some absolutely huge kind of out of the blue news that Auburn basketball has out of their camp today. I want to remind everybody, if you want to support the show, there are 2 ways you can do so. Number one, you can go purchase your very own College Loop War Report co-branded Feel and Loopy t-shirt. Comes in 5 different colorways. Most comfortable t-shirt you'll ever own. You can find that on thewarreport.com. If you don't feel like typing that in the search bar, neither do we. You can find it in the description to any of our shows. It'll link you straight there. $25. Pick up your own shirt. You'll be forever proud to own a hashtag Feel and Loopy shirt. When you purchase your shirt, make sure you go on Twitter, take a selfie, use hashtag Feel and Loopy, and tag us in it. We'll throw it up on the next live stream, regular recorded show, whatever is coming up next. We appreciate your continual support and your dedication to supporting and referring the College Loop to all of your friends as your first and best listen for Auburn athletics coverage. Moving forward from that, the second way you can help us out, and the most free, easiest thing you can do is hit like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, give us a 5-star thumbs up, whatever the rating is on your streaming service of choice. If you're hanging out with us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you can stay up to date with everything going on right here at the College Loop. Drop the comments, drop your score predictions for Auburn at Arkansas, your score predictions for Auburn's, I guess actually not just score predictions. How many wins do you think Auburn basketball will have after seeing their showing against Baylor? I think there's going to be a lot of more optimistic numbers after that game. So we always want to hear your feedback. Tell us what you guys want to hear about right here on the Loop. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. All right, we're talking Auburn basketball right here on the College Loop. And Dylan, I'm gonna go with the layup first, and then I'm gonna have this ultimate buildup of just excitement. First off, Tahad Pettiford is officially an Auburn Tiger, folks. Inked the deal. He's coming to the Plains. 6'1" point guard, 25th in the country, second at his position, and third in the state of New Jersey, out of Jersey City, New Jersey, Hudson Catholic Academy. This guy is going to be different. He's going to be a difference maker. He's a good facilitator, extensive range. Guy's going to get the job done. I stumbled over my own words. I'm too excited about this next part. I've been excited about Tahad. I've been very, very excited about Tahad. Everybody should be. He's officially an Auburn Tiger signed today. Out of left field, Bruce Pearl went and got Ja'Kai Howard today, folks. It's probably not left field. There's probably way more to this than I have been made privy to or noticed, and I apologize if I'm just super behind all the times. This one just kind of popped up. The 6'6", well, I said 6'5", a short change of an inch. 6'6", 185-pound shooting guard out of Overtime Elite. That's his. What's the word I'm looking for here? Help me. He's out of Atlanta. Why am I forgetting? His AAU club. My apologies. And Overtime Elite. And this guy was down between Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia Tech, and
Arizona State.
Arizona State. That's right. So Bruce Pearl went and grabbed a guy, another guy out of Atlanta. Who's shocked? That's a true high flyer coming to the Plains. He's a true 3-level scorer, rated as a 4-star, 91 composite on 24/7, which we've always said is the greatest website at ranking Ja'Kai Howard in the history of websites. We've always said that, Dylan.
Oh, for sure. I think I've been on record in saying it.
Yeah.
Don't try to find it. I don't think it's posted anywhere. But
We have
I
now.
said on record.
We have now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
His commitment was made official today as we're recording the show on National Signing Day. Yesterday as the show is coming out. And wow. Hello, Bruce Pearl has now jumped this composite ranking back up to 24 in the country. And folks, when we were pressing the panic button, there's no reason to. This group's not done yet either. Holy heck, Dylan. Auburn is recruiting. I might go crazier, maybe even better than they have been in the past couple of years under Bruce Pearl. Now, granted, you have Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, but that's a different story. But
I mean, it is crazy the fact that I think Bruce Pearl was donating blood, and they had to call some kind of paramedics because actually, when his blood was coming out, it was actually blue.
Blue, it's nuts.
It was very blue, which is crazy. I've never expected that before or seen that before. But
it
that's
almost
crazy.
Looks unhealthy. It's certainly unhealthy for my cardiovascular system. But
it's so great being a blue blood.
Super excited to see the addition of Ja'Kai Howard, the commitment of Ja'Kai Howard today for the Auburn basketball program. And big news. I mean, this is something that, like I said, was kind of out of left field. Like a lot of people were just like, hey, hello. We're on this guy's radar, as question mark at the end, not a statement, but a question.
I don't believe I ever heard his name until this morning. Whenever I got the tweets about it, I got you freaking out in the group chat, and then I also believe they were talking about it in the Warpour group chat as well.
That's because a lot of people thought he was a hog.
Yeah, and I'm so glad he's not. This is officially Arkansas Hate Week for both balls.
It is quite literally always Arkansas basketball hate week. It is always Arkansas basketball hate week.
But I mean, bringing up Ja'Kai Howard, he brought up 3-level scorer. This dude can block like nobody's business. I mean, the ability to get those 3-level scorers who whenever you get the bigs in the front court that can also just throw the ball out of the freaking arena. That's awesome. I mean, you got Walker Kessler, Jabari Smith, Chad Baker-Mazara last two nights ago as this comes out. Janai Broom. And the list goes on and on. Dylan Cardwell. I'll talk about him in a second because he played awesomely against Baylor. But I mean, you're seeing the exact type of player that Bruce Pearl wants to continue to build this team with, and it's guys who can shoot the ball and guys who can block the ball and block shots. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It certainly is. And something else that's not as beautiful as we pivoted into our recap of Auburn taking on and traveling and eventually losing to Baylor in North Dakota, of all places, 2 nights ago. That
Auburn traveled well.
Auburn did travel well. There are some really exciting takeaways from Auburn's 88-82 loss to Baylor. on Tuesday night, excuse me. I'm sorry. And we're recording this on Wednesday. This show's coming out Thursday. I'm all kinds of mixed up, folks. Sometimes I think it's Christmas. This game, as we pivot over into our recap of Auburn Baylor, was the most encouraging loss I've watched in any sport in a very long time. In terms of this group, I mean, first off, I apologize to everyone for saying Auburn wouldn't score 80 points. And for a second there, I was waiting for people to dunk on me and say, why did you say that, when I thought Auburn might have got stuck at 79, which felt on the table. But we kind of thought that Baylor would kind of take care of business, win comfortably by double digits over Auburn. And I mean, even down to the last waning seconds, Auburn wasn't completely out of that ball game. Sure, it fell apart after the last media timeout. Yes, it did. But holistically, folks, Baylor's a very good basketball team. That Baylor team also looked really good last night. They made a couple of silly mistakes that kept Auburn in the second half and kept Auburn ahead and prolonging the inevitable. But that's still a really good basketball team. We thought this Auburn team was going to be good. Dylan, I've got news. This Auburn basketball team is not as good as we thought they were. They are a hell of a lot better.
Dude, everything about this team is better than I thought it was going to be, except for a couple of players, maybe just one that I wasn't very impressed with. But we heard talking about the positives first, and then we're going to get into what we didn't like about the team.
Yeah, well, let's start with the layup positive and talk about Aiden Holloway.
Dude.
Guys, I'm going to lead here, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Dylan, about Aiden's night. Enjoy Aiden Holloway's Auburn career. It will be 1 year long. That kid is different. I had people text me last night saying, is that Jared Harper out there? And the only thing I can respond is say, no, Jared Harper was not that good. That kid is unbelievable. He posted 19, led the team in scoring last night, didn't even start.
He did have the most minutes out of anybody on the team.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, also foul trouble and Trey Donaldson not really getting it going early didn't help. But Aiden Holloway's range is going to be stupid fun to watch this year. There's going to be a highlight tape of that kid shooting from the AU a lot. Dylan, how much did Aiden impress you? And where was he compared to where you expected him to be? Because for me, he was even better.
He came out right away and started playing like a high-level college basketball. Like he played like he's been there before, which is absolutely awesome to see from a guy who was in high school, like not like 6 months ago. Just overall, I think Aiden Holloway just played lights out. I tried my best not to get overly excited because I was like, I didn't want to, get too hyped up about the game and then it break my heart. But Aiden Holloway made it very hard to not do that. So a lot of trays got thrown up from the couch and a lot of oh my gods and holy craps, and this kid is. I was like, who is this kid? But I know exactly who he is. He is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm excited to see these last however many games we got left over. I'm going to assume
one season.
One
season.
How many games get you to the championship?
Right. Start doing the math.
I'm going to try to get the maximum amount of games that I might be able to see him for.
You're right. You could figure out the maximum number of games you're going to see him for. I had a couple of moments where Aiden looked like a freshman, and that's okay. I thought that last night, if you had to pick one player that learned the most from last night, it's also Aiden Holloway, and he's also the player that shined the most last night. 2 nights ago, as the show's coming out, in my opinion. But a couple of those sloppy cross court kind of run and gun, and this tempo for this team is bonkers. By the way, this team is like watching NASCAR on crack. And Aiden Holloway fits that bill so well in terms of the up tempo, move the ball, get it down the floor, score points in transition. Auburn scored twice in transition off of a made basket last night. That is stupid. That is just dumb, and in the best way possible. But there were some times where you're like, "Hey, Aiden, so like maybe don't make that skip pass. Maybe don't try to go in and let 3 guys crash on you and still try to finish, even though somehow you still got at the stripe." There were some moments where he's going to be able to look back on film and sit down with BP and sit down with his teammates and say, "Hey, here's where I played a little bit sloppy, but damn, I was pretty good for a freshman." And
I can only imagine if this game was a Neville Arena, and he did that full court oop to Dylan Cardwell. If it was just like a foot deeper, that ball would have went right into Cardwell's hands, and that would have broke the backboard and would have torn the roof off of Neville Arena.
Well, also, if this game is played 3 weeks later than it was on a neutral site, after Auburn had a few games under its belt, Auburn wins this game by 10 points.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not being dramatic. You go to Baylor, you probably lose. You come back to Auburn, you win it by 15. I mean, that there is that much of of parity in home court advantage in college basketball, folks. I'm not overreacting there. But obviously, Aiden Holloway was a huge bright spot. You talked about it before the show, Dylan, your boy Chad Baker-Mazara. I think we have a super tall, better talent of KD Johnson here. You're going to live and die with his kind of passionate game style. And I liked when he got teed up. I didn't actually like this at all. I don't like when players get teed up at all, but I thought it was very funny when he got teed up and he was like, yeah, nope, I did that. Mm-hmm. Yep, that was me. And then Bruce was just ripping into him and he was like, yep, yeah, I know. I totally, yep, absolutely did that. That was fun.
I do love having just two lovable psychopaths ready to come in at any time on the court, because Chad Baker-Mazara and KD Johnson are, I like how you said it, like they're the exact same player, but just one of them is 3 inches taller.
KD Johnson looked patient. He was facilitating, setting screens. We know he can play defense, but on the offensive side of the floor, was not trigger happy. There was a couple of times where you could tell, you get that look in his eye, and he's not doing anything other than trying to go to the rack. But I mean, that crazy fadeaway mid-range that he hit was just in cold blood. And I didn't hate that take at all. He's in that game specifically. We'll see if that continues this year. It'd be huge for Auburn if it did. But he seems to have harnessed his biggest upside, which is that he's not afraid of anything, and that he is a disgustingly good defender. If that is the case, he is one of the most valuable pieces off this bench for Auburn, because he can play lockdown defense. You have to respect him enough from the perimeter. And if he wants to put his head down and get to the rack, at the bare minimum, you're going to send him to the line. So this could be a big bounce back year for him. Lior Berman, I'm tired of seeing minutes from him.
Come on, man.
I knew that was going to offend you. This bench is too deep for you to play Lior Berman. I'm glad it was only 5 minutes.
I think he only got in because of foul trouble. I do believe.
I know. But there've got to be other options there. Chris Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing flashy on the scorecard. Only had 4 points on the night, but he played 23 minutes of really good basketball, off-ball basketball. This guy's a difference maker at the three. He is going to have a tremendously big season, like you and I have been talking about the past couple of episodes, just because of his role player mentality and being able to lock down on defense, physical. He's lost weight, he's faster, and he can jump higher. And this team all got skinnier, by the way. They're faster. It's unbelievable. And then Janai Broome does what Janai Broome does, except for there were a couple of moments coming down the stretch where you were kind of like, Janai, what are we doing? But you take the good with the bad with Janai Broome, because he's still, in my opinion, a super raw talent. Now, your 2 talking points here, Dylan. I'm going to turn it over to you. Jalen Williams and Dylan Cardwell are probably the polar opposite feelings you have about 2 players on that floor on Tuesday night. Let's start with Jay Will and then wrap it up with Dylan Cardwell to make you feel better.
Should have to do grades as well. We could do grades.
Grades.
Just have more graphics to put up. Instead of front court, back court, bench. Grades.
Front court, back court, bench. Let's marinate on that one and do it after the next game. You need to let me prep there.
Okay.
That's not an on the fly decision for me. I'm too wrapped up into this basketball team to just make impulse decisions. I fully committed myself now to getting hurt by them this year. I'm ready.
I mean, anything with that logo on it.
But Auburn basketball means more. Like I'm ready. I'm so ready. Bring on the pain.
I am as well.
I'm excited for the pain.
Also, did you know that the refs for the game were the same refs that didn't call the double dribble?
I'd heard that rumor once or twice or 55,000 times.
Also, did you know that Dylan Cardwell is a Jumbotron man?
Did you know the Jumbotron kid was there?
Was he actually?
He was in one of the box suites with his shirt off.
Was that actually him?
Yeah.
That's awesome. But in case you didn't know, the commentating was bad.
And they played
The
swag
officiating.
at the stadium.
That was an Auburn home game in North Dakota, so I'll let him do.
There was a TV broadcast. Well, you said there was a TV broadcast? I wouldn't know. I muted my TV and listened to Andy, so.
I should have done the same.
It's way better for your mental health, my friend. Free plug to Auburn Sports Network because Andy Burcham is a dog, Brad Law is a dog, and Jacob Hillman's a dog.
But yeah, Jay Will just was not a factor in this game whatsoever. I mean, 4.6 rebounds, and he got a block as well, and he just didn't really do much. He looked like the Jay Will of like 20, not sure. Like definitely a guy. I think Jay Will is going to end up coming off the bench later on this year unless he steps up. And I mean, he's a good leader. He's a veteran on this team. But when it comes to like players like Simo, CBM, Shabik Mazzara, for you people who don't know that, I think even Chaney Johnson kind of played well like into the stretch. I think when he came up like later on in the game, Chaney Johnson kind of found a stride. And I'm going to give Chaney a kind of a. I'm not going to go hard on him for not playing up to how I thought he was going to play yet, because going from the D2 level to
about to say it is
the
a
SEC,
switch.
I'm not gonna expect too much from him right off the bat. I'm still expecting a great season from him, but I'm expecting him to take the time this team's also going to need to get better. But I mean, looking at Baker Mazzara, Simo, Dylan Cardwell, I mean, Jay Will has no excuses to come out looking that just slow with the ball, off the ball, defensively, just overall. From Jay Will.
Tough scene.
Yeah, all around. But there is a guy on this team.
And I'm going to let you talk about him.
Who played his shirt off.
Oh, God.
And that is Dylan frickin' Cardwell. 5 points, 5 blocks, 4 assists, 1 steal, 4 rebounds from Dylan Cardwell, who also led the team in field goal percentage. Rather that be 3 shots or not, he led the team in field goal percentage. And my favorite part of the night was his one free throw he made. He did the AU right after the fact. Of course he did. Because he is the people's champion.
People's princess.
But Dylan Cardwell, if he can continue this play throughout the season, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get drafted or anything. That'd be crazy. But I mean, the improvement that we've seen from Dylan Cardwell, finally, I'm enough to say that Bruce Pearl can develop literally anybody. If he can if this could be a consistent performance from Dylan Cardwell, I mean, Bruce Pearl is the developer in college basketball. If he can turn,
it took him 5 years to do it, but
if he can turn Cardwell into a consistent player, not even good or bad, just consistent player, that's a huge dub in my book.
Massive, because then you know what you're getting.
Exactly.
Because there is the stigma that I think people think I'm a Dylan Cardwell hater, like in terms of like wishing ill upon him. No, if you're wearing an Auburn shirt, I want you to be successful. Period. At the end of the day, am I a Dylan Cardwell skepticist? Absolutely. The reason I say that is there is the Dylan Cardwell experience, and that is like 6 points off of 2 awesome dunks, 2 separate trips to the free throw line where you sink 1 each, and then like 3 blocks and a bunch of rebounds, but also like a handful of turnovers. And it's this wild roller coaster that is not good for anyone's health whatsoever, specifically not mine. But if Dylan Cardwell can play the way he did on Tuesday night, I'm going to be one of the happiest people you ever meet. That was just a tremendous display of what he could be this year. And he showed flashes of it last year. It's whether or not he can stay committed to his fundamentals, right? I mean, that was really the secret recipe and Achilles heel, if you will.
Use 2 hands to rebound the ball, and it's crazy what can happen with you.
It's unbelievable. And actually use your huge frame to box out. It is unbelievable what those things can come together and do. So overall, Dylan, I think that there's overarching that I took away from this. I'll be interested to see if you grabbed anything else or if you disagree. Number one, these newcomers freaking rock in terms of not just like, oh, they're phenomenal basketball players. Bruce Pearl's team has an identity right now. That is impressive. We'll see if it stays this way. It is early. It is one game. But this team has an identity. And having only played together for X amount of months, whatever you want to say, since all these guys got on the same campus, bringing all these new pieces in and seeing them play the way they did on Tuesday night is so encouraging. We didn't even mention Denver Jones. That guy's awesome.
Oh yeah, I don't have to forget about him.
I mean, Denver Jones played 24 minutes of meaningful basketball last night, put up 13 points, and shot 3 of 5 from the perimeter. I don't know why he didn't get another look late in the game. I really don't. And there's, we'll nitpick that as we come down the stretch, right? As we get deeper into the season.
Something I just noticed, because I was looking at, because you mentioned how many minutes he played. I think he got 2 fouls. I didn't realize that Aiden Holloway also did not come out a single foul.
Yeah. Yeah, Aiden was pretty freaking awesome. And he's one of those newcomers, right? Like that fits in the narrative here. This group is really exciting. They gel really well with the returners. Now, on the other end of this, your returners in large look sharp in terms of understanding what the plan of execution is for Bruce Pearl and understanding what the standard looks like and what that brand of basketball is. And most excitingly, folks, Auburn's got to get better on the on the defensive boards. Duh. They've got to get better on defense. Duh. This team's playing with tempo and offense, a clear offensive identity, spreading the ball around and making shots. That's new in comparison to last year. This team is going to win a boatload of basketball games. And a lot of them are going to send you down to the wire and cardiac arrest, but they're going to win a lot of basketball games. And I was sitting here saying that, Auburn finishing 6th in the SEC felt about right. You know what I mean? No, I'm not there. I'm not willing to say that yet. I need to get through a handful more non-conference games, and I want Auburn to absolutely hand some teams their own ass. I mean, I want them to kick some butt coming down the stretch to prove me right. But I think this team's ceiling is astronomically higher than we thought it was, Dylan.
And we said the Elite 8 was our ceiling for this.
Right, maybe not astronomically higher, but
I was about to say. It's like you realize only 8 teams can make it to the Elite 8, right? But it is safe to say this is the best basketball team in the state of Alabama, at the bare minimum.
I don't know about that yet. Alabama might be good. I don't know.
This is the best basketball team in the state of Alabama.
I think that, just to toot my own horn here, this week what we've learned through one game for pretty much everybody is like the big teams that our podcast viewers are going to care about is, one, Baylor is exactly as good as we thought they were, and that is good. That is really good. 2, Auburn is way better than we thought they were. And 3, Alabama is just about as good as we thought they were. And of those 3 statements, the ones that should excite you the most is that Auburn is significantly better than we thought they were going to be. Because I think some weird stuff can happen in Coleman Coliseum this year. I know that's your standard, gold standard of basketball is not Alabama, never has been, never will be. But still, it's pretty fun to win there. It's pretty fun to break out a broom, which I think may be on the table if this team can play their cards right. But the SEC is so freaking open this year that I just don't know.
I've been waiting for so long. And by that, I mean since last year for us to sweep somebody with Janai Broom. Because I have a graphic.
Locked and loaded.
I'm going to edit Janai Broom into a broom. And say you got swept by Janai Broom. That is literally the graphic I have in my brain.
And I love this graphic that's in my brain.
I need to do it.
I'm super ready.
And with that, I mean, my takeaways from this game are it's fun to watch a basketball team that can create shots from beyond the arc. And even if there are 3 3-point lines, you were able to see that much better shots taken and better looks taken. And you don't just have, I love Wendell Green. I love Icy Wynn, but he did not take the best shots in his career. And watching Aiden Holloway, Denver Jones, Janai Broom, those 3 guys coming up and just absolutely
who looked good shooting the 3 ball, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the one where like we said, we're talking about earlier before the show, just his shoulder looked tight, the one air ball. But those other 2 shots were just beautiful.
Yeah.
And the negatives I have from this game aren't stuff that can't be fixed.
That's the beauty.
Exactly. Game 1 of the season. I am A-okay with this basketball team starting 0-1 with only a 6-point loss to Baylor. In my eyes, this game was over at 85-82 whenever Auburn started fouling.
Yeah.
So in my brain, the scoreboard says one thing, my brain says the other thing. Either way, Auburn lost. It's just garbage time, trying to get the ball back quick. Nah, I'm not gonna count it. I need to see better. I need to see Jay Will play to the level that he can. I mean, he has been the most consistent player on this team for the past 2-3 years, and I'm not really expecting a drop off from him like that. So definitely going to see him step up as a team. Get the boards, get more. You're taller than you've been in a hot minute, so you should be able to get more rebounds. And Auburn was very good at rebounding last year with just Janai Broom as the primary rebounder, and he got 11. He had a double-double 2 nights ago. Semo only got 2. Denver got 1. He's a taller guard. Katie Johnson, surprisingly, even though he's like 5 foot, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. Somehow
5'10".
Somehow didn't get 1. But other than that, I mean, I'm not fretting too much about anything. I think it's everything I said can be fixed with time. And I think Auburn's next opponent it's not Notre Dame. My brain's not. It's Southeastern Louisiana and Neville Arena.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the game where you're going to try to get right. And that game is currently on Friday.
ESPN Plus,
Friday.
Right? Yeah, I think it's ESPN Plus.
Yes, SEC Network Plus, ESPN Plus, Neville Arena. On the 10th is Friday, right? Am I stupid? Yeah, Friday. So right. Tomorrow, as this comes out, that's going to be your optimum opportunity to, in a short span of time, see how much better you can get some of the things. I don't think Southeastern Louisiana is like this powerhouse,
right,
that you should be worried about. But at this early in the season,
go beat the hell out of them.
Exactly, and don't pull a Vanderbilt.
I mean, what was it? Florida Gulf Coast damn near upset Indiana just 2 nights ago, and Indiana got out of there with their butt puckered and snuck out with like a 4-point win.
I believe I'm trying to look up
anything can happen in college basketball. Make sure you take care of your assignment. So, speaking of teams,
Vanderbilt lost to Presbyterian.
Yeah, they absolutely
and
did.
James Madison.
We're not. Well, James Madison was crazy. Michigan State nuts. Tom Izzo moment. But
you called that, by the way.
What'd you say?
You called that, by the way.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I'm a college basketball sort of ball knower, dude. It's crazy. Also, don't hate on Presbyterian. That's a sneaky team to make the tournament.
Well, just Vanderbilt losing to them, and did they play in Nashville?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I did hear some Vanderbilt fans saying Stackhouse may be on the hot seat.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Speaking of teams that are getting the job done, though, let's talk about Auburn women's basketball for a second. Taking down Jacksonville State 78-49. And this is a different story from Auburn men's basketball because it wasn't the newcomers. It was the returning faces that really were the bright spots in this game. Honestly, Scott Grayson dropping 14 points. Savannah Scott, now there you go. There's your name. 13 points. But Marshawn Bostic, 12. And then you have Sydney Shaw with 7, Caitlin Duhan with 13. A lot of returner minutes, a lot of veteran minutes. I guess not veteran in terms of just people that are sophomores, right? But because we talk all the time about how Sydney Shaw is going, in our opinion, probably be the next, honestly, Scott Grayson. But a lot of folks that have been in the Coach J system for more than a year or year's time or a year plus, really stepping up to put in the meaningful minutes. But you're starting to slowly see those minutes start spreading across the bench for Auburn women's basketball, which is big time, especially when you look at, you can go down the box score. Hello, I was trying to read and speak at the same time. It was not working. Silas Mbain had 15 minutes of play. OA, that's the initials I'm going with here, and the nickname we're going to go with here because I don't try to butcher names here. Posted 9, and then McKenna Eddings dropping 14. You're starting to see this team getting deeper and deeper and deeper, which has been the problem. It's not been lack of starting 5 talent, to be completely transparent with you. It's been the bench. So Auburn women's basketball back in business. And according to their hype video, the rebuild's in the past now. Now's the present. So step back.
We go into the tourney.
Step back. and let Coach J cook. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, and this is a big win for me too, because I came out and I said the player I'm most excited to watch this season for Coach J and the girls is Savannah Scott. Just finally getting a center who can rebound is so awesome. 13 points, 8 rebounds from Savannah Scott.
Also, Carson McFadden, 3 points on just 2 minutes of playtime. Those numbers are crazy, so the math doesn't lie.
She walked in, threw up a shot, made it.
Said I'm done.
Yep.
That's all for me. That's all for me. The scholarship athlete, Carson McFadden, by the way.
I'm sure I could probably the play-by-play. I'm gonna go look and see exactly whenever that shot was made. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, it was super late. It was super late in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah. So
yeah, she was the last mate with 8 seconds left in the game.
That's right.
Sydney Shaw assist, kick out to Carson McFadden, throws it up, bang.
That's right.
The game-winning bucket.
The game-extending bucket. That's right. Good for Carson McFadden. Good for Auburn women's basketball starting off on the right foot, taking care of business, absolutely thumping Jacksonville State. They will continue their campaign later this week. I believe is it a Sunday matchup, Dylan? I'm pulling it right here in front of me. I had it up.
You should ask me before I closed the
tab. Once you tabbed it off. They have Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Tonight is the show's coming out at 7 p.m. That's on SEC Network Plus. And then this Sunday, a Power 5 matchup with Rutgers on the road, and that is in Piscataway. So an early get hit in the mouth, play a Power 5 opponent on the road for Coach J and company, see if they can get it rolling over Louisiana before they get to Rutgers. All right. Wrapping things up.
On the Big Ten Network.
On the Big Ten Network, I know.
Oh.
I know it's pain. Spain without the S is silent. Okay, we have a long list of athletes that have decided and chosen to attend Auburn to pursue their academic and athletic careers going forward and inked their commitments today. We're going to run through these lists. We're going to go sport by sport here, and we want to just give every one of you guys a shout out, tell you guys how excited the Auburn family is to welcome you with open arms, and how much we are excited to be covering you guys over the next 4 to 5, depending on if you get your master's and redshirt years of year, because no one's getting hurt. Not one of these kids is going to get hurt. Nobody gets hurt. That's the rules. Them's the rules. Over the next 4 to 5 years of your athletic careers. Okay, so we're going to start with men's and women's golf. I'm going to start with women's golf. Davalos Goyita from Spain, so that one's kind of tough. But then we've got twins on women's golf and men's golf that both signed today. Anna and Billy Davis, both out of Spring Valley, California. Welcome to Auburn. So Tyler Spellman out of Cave Creek, Arizona for men's golf. And then women's basketball today signed a 5'9" point guard out of Trussville, Alabama, Miss Jordan Hunter. She's been committed for an extended period of time now. And the team that probably did the most work, considering they recruit for both genders, would be swim and dive. I'm going to run through this real quick. Andy Cummins out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Warner Russ out of Jackson, Mississippi. Olivia Stewart out of Statesboro, Georgia. Shout out Georgia. Not the school, the state. Bradford Johnson out of Huntsville, Alabama. Carly Bixby out of Plymouth, Minnesota. Aiden Clements out of Tampa, Florida. Audrey Olin out of Elm Grove, Wisconsin. Georgia Colborn, Georgia from Delaware, by the way. Georgia Colborn out of Newark, Delaware. River Palk. Awesome swimmer name, by the way. River Palk out of Keller, Texas. Ashlyn Moore out of New Albany, Ohio. And Keaton Rice out of Edmonton, Oklahoma. Welcome, Auburn men's and women's golf, women's basketball, and swim and dive athletes. Welcome to the Auburn family. Excited to have you. Dylan?
I'm trying to pull up all the names of the people because outside of like football and basketball, the recruiting
them all to you.
No, I'm trying to get like rankings and stuff, but they don't do that for like the other sports because you have to like pay for subscriptions to get baseball numbers and
which, by the way, baseball number 4 class according to Perfect Game.
Yes, softball currently ranked as the number 17th. Recruiting class in the country after picking up 3 signees, starting off with Anna Lee Adams from Liberty, Indiana. She's a utility player, bats right, throws right. She is a number 10 recruit in the class 2024, 3-time 2A first-team All-State performer at Union County High School, and she currently holds 8 of her school records. So great pickup there for Coach for Mickey and the girls over there. Jolie Adams also got picked up, number 13 recruit in the country. She is an outfielder, bats left, throws right. So nice little ambidextrous over there. Trying to see. She batted a 444 batting had a 444 batting average and a 49 on base percentage with 53 RBI. And lastly, picked up by softball Blaine Godfrey, a right-handed pitcher. If you did not know, that means she throws with her right hand. Number 12 recruit in the country by extra inning softball in 2022, 4-state all-state selection, and has earned 5 all-area accolades. And she won the AL.com 6A Newcomer of the Year. So 3 great pickups for softball. Also picked up on soccer, Geneva Hernandez-Gray from Vancouver. That is Canada, for all you geography nerds out there. Ava Cardwell from Bogart, Georgia. That's a name. City. Rory Shank from Flower Mound, Texas. Another great city name. And then on to equestrian to join the greatest equestrian team in the country and in all of equestrian history. If there's ever a place to go to ride horses, it is Auburn, Alabama. It's in equestrian's in the Olympics, right?
Yeah, it's an Olympic sport.
So if you're ever
You don't remember the video of Snoop Dogg saying that the horse was crip walking on the set?
I do not. I don't think
I'm going to send it to you after this.
Okay. Auburn picking up Abigail Eddy from Western Rocheport, Michigan. Michelle Fumagalli from Western Scottsdale, Arizona. So there's Scottsdale and a Western Scottsdale.
I think that's part of her club name. So I think she's just from Scottsdale. But
yeah, put Western in because she's riding horses.
And Kate Haggerty is the next one that I just could not even begin to spell out the length of the name.
Just from Oregon. Ariana Markel from Las Vegas, Nevada. Almost said New Vegas.
Las Vegas, New Vegas.
And lastly, Frankie Nicholas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the ways.
That's how Jack Nicklaus spells his name.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I knew that.
Cool. From Duluth, Georgia.
Right around the corner from my hometown.
You already know that those. If none of these girls that I listed were gonna reach championships, you know that all the equestrian ones are going to be getting championships in their time here on the Plains. So, yeah, and I think was that all of the recruits?
That rounds it out for all of the non-men's basketball, and then football and baseball signings are different signing periods. So,
yes, because that is in early signing period for
football is December.
Football is December.
And then baseball, there's another one in March, I think. I don't know. They switch them around, I swear.
Dude, I cannot follow. I try so hard. Like whenever the show started off, our first time hitting that first baseball signing period, I tried so hard.
So brutal.
I was like, I'm just not even gonna fool with it.
A lot of these guys got to make sure that they're getting through the first year player draft too. So. Yeah. Which, listen, MLB, they're all really good, but like, look at them next year and start scouting them next year.
Wait till Butch gets him a ring, and then you can start taking our players like that.
That's right. Then
let me be very happy, and then ruin my life. Don't do the opposite. Don't do it.
So once again, congratulations to everyone, all of these young student athletes and rising, soon-to-be graduating seniors that are headed to the Plains of Auburn, Alabama to continue their athletic careers. All super, super excited for every single one of you guys. Excited to cover you guys right here in the College Loop. If you're listeners to the College Loop by some wild chance, come hang out. Make sure it's okay with your SID first, but come hang out. And we would love to have you on and talk about the recruiting process and how excited you are to be on the Plains and what the Auburn family means to you. Speaking of the Auburn family, the College Loop Auburn family is the best subdivision niche version of our niche department of the Auburn family, because you guys have continued to support us, and you can continue to support us by purchasing your very own College Loop War Report co-branded Feel and Liquid t-shirt. $25 on the warreport.com. Dylan's probably going to throw it up on the screen while I'm saying this. If you don't feel like typing it in the search bar, you can always go into our description and link it right there. $25. You can pick up your very own one of 5 colorways, most comfortable shirt you'll ever own, and use hashtag Feel and Lippy when you get it. When you take a selfie and throw it up on the Bird app, Facebook, or send it to the collegeloop1@gmail.com, whatever makes you happy.
And Instagram.
Or Instagram. Instagram's absolutely fine as well. If you want to DM it to us on Instagram, that's completely fine. Throw it on your Instagram story. Love that. Also, before I extroduce is a word I'm going to make up. Extroduce myself and usher us out of this show. I'm going to remind you guys, If you're hanging out here on the YouTube stream, on the YouTube version of this podcast, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Drop your comments, drop your Arkansas score predictions, basketball win totals, your favorite recruit name, your favorite recruit that has signed and inked their NLI to join Auburn this week. Whatever you want to talk about, we want to talk about it right here on the College Loop. So thank you for your continual support. Make sure you ring the bell so you can stay up to date with everything going on here at the College Loop. I am Harrison Tarr at by Harrison Tarr on the Bird app. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Love every single one of you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And Dylan, let's get out of here.
Of course, I'm Dylan Larck at you boy tank on Twitter/X. Wherever you type in, it redirects, I still believe. Potentially to make it back to Twitter, just so I can only say Twitter.
Yes.
You can also follow me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck at DYLANLERCK. And of course, you want to follow us right here on the College Loop on here on YouTube. Just like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your predictions for the Auburn Arkansas game. Remember, closest winner gets a shout out on the Tuesday show. And of course, make sure you follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. I thought I said Facebook again. And stay up to date with us. And also, again, like, subscribe, ring the bell. And with all of that being said, War Eagle, it's basketball season. And this is the College Loop podcast.
Love you guys.